Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. I have a fantastic person as an artist whose work has been featured in over 30 films, including Die Hard 3, Strictly Business, and Malcolm X. His work captures the hearts of audiences across the country, and he's with us today to speak about his new art series and to reflect on his journey as an artist. Please welcome to the show, Bernard, the Artist Jackson. Bernard, welcome.
How you doing, Dr. Bob Lee?
We heard a whole lot about you, man. We heard you putting the brush to the canvas or whatever you do to do your do to make who you are do to do. And we just came up with that. You know what it is, right? And you have a little
history. I'm all over the place.
Yeah. And you have a little history. You have a story behind how you got where you are today. You may want to touch on that just a bit.
Well, I grew up in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. I went to Benedict College as a young artist. You know, I worked pretty much. I painted billboards. I did just developing as a young artist. You know, it was my mom and my art teachers and my mentors that pushed me. And finally, I heard through the grapevine that Spike was getting ready to work on Malcolm X. At the time, I was working as art director for a billboard company in Florence, South Carolina. But it was still time in the works. But I wasn't a union person. So it was because of Spike. He wrote a letter to the union that kind of like nudged him and allowed about 7 of us to get our union card. And so we did take the union exam so that we could, get in official. And from there, it was Malcolm X, Die Hard 3, Strictly Business, and I'm what they call a scenic artist. So in other words, the carpenters build it. We paint it. We do marbleizing, wood greening, aging, distressing, portraits, sculptures. So on every film, there are artists that are working behind the scenes. And we are part of Local 829, which is the United Scenic Artists Union. And so that was kind of like prayers and a lot of push. It wasn't just me, it was a lot of people that helped me to get in the union. And, because, that old phrase of a starving artist, I used to say that, but I don't say that anymore. That's the kiss of death. I am not a starving artist, And so the thing was to try to figure out, how do you eat? How do you survive as an artist? And scenic art allowed me to be able to survive. And after I was in a union for about 10 years, I opened up an art gallery. And from there, I wanted to really focus on doing my works. And that's how I started developing, using caulking and mixing paint with caulking, coming up with my own kind of like style. Wow. And the piece that you see behind me is a piece I did of Kanye, and it's done on wood. And all of this is caulking from Home Depot, but I mix it in with house paint, and I use a palette knife, and it is like it's my new thing. That's just what I've been working on for the last 10 years, and it's taken on.
Man, you did a fantastic job with that, and we love what you do. Big shout out to Home Depot too. When Bernard comes in there, make sure you take good care of him.
Yeah, hook a brother up.
But with everything else, nothing's really easy. There were some hardships. You had to go through some things to get where you are today. Talk about it.
When I was
that you can just pop into a situation and here we are.
Working. No. As a young artist, there was a lot of struggles. I went through every possible struggling situation, sleeping in your car for years, going through all of that, trying to learn. But if you don't have a story, you have nothing to say, and so, the struggles that I went through made me stronger. My mom used to always say that if it didn't kill you, it's going to make you strong. And there were many a times in which, me coming from the South, not understanding the politics of working in New York City, because, I'm a Southern boy and Southern roots. And
well, you don't sound like you from down South.
Yeah, trust me, I still got it in me, boy. When I go home, I gotta use it.
You gotta switch up.
I gotta switch it up real quick, like.
You going down yonder to go down to the store and pick up some pop or whatever they said.
No, it's soda. So, I think, what do we call it down south? Yep, a soda.
Soda.
Up in Detroit, they say pop.
They do. You're right. In the Midwest and all that, yeah, pop and all that stuff. Yeah.
But everything down south is a Coke. Even though it's an orange soda, they say, give me a Coke. You know, it's kind of weird. But growing up as a young artist, you know, I meet young artists and I want to talk to them about what it takes. And, you know, a lot of people want to say, oh, he's a Black artist.
Yeah.
I am not a Black artist. I'm just an artist.
You know,
I don't do Black art. I just do art. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to be put in that little box. I don't want to be limited to just people of color buying my works. I want everybody to buy my works. If you're from Mars, I want you to buy my works. You know, to me, I don't think there's Asian art, German art. It's just art. And that's all I do.
And your art displays lots of colors.
And that's, to me, that's what gives me diversity.
Yeah. Can you describe some of your most cherishable products or projects that you've worked on in any of the movies that you've worked in?
Well, just recently, I was working on a film that's going to be out in August called Bros. And we did a ton of murals and marbleizing and wood graining in there. And just last week, I was working on The Fabulous Mrs. Maisel on the last season of that. You know, wow. I remember working on, oh God, let me see one that you guys would probably remember, New Jack City, you know, Strictly Business with Halle Berry. I worked with her on her first film. Joseph Phillips, and I worked with Whoopi Goldberg on Joe's Apartment. You know, she was on, and most of the time when we're on the set, I've been lucky enough to be what they call the scenic on the set. So while they're shooting, I'm standing right there waiting for them. Die Hard 3, wow. Working with Bruce Willis, you know, doing murals on certain projects, and they're standing right there because let's say the art director says, you know what, we want to change this. Everybody stop shooting, and I bring my kid in, and so a lot of times I'm the only person of color on most of the production. So I stand out, and so
when you go to craft, do you get a paper plate or a porcelain plate?
I love craft services.
But you know, you meet a lot of people.
Once in a while.
Bruce is pretty cool, right? He's a very personable person, I hear.
Oh, well, you know what? Most of the people that I meet on set are like Denzel Washington. He was so amazing when we were working on Malcolm X. He would have conversations with me while I'm working. Spike Lee he's just brilliant. He's just brilliant. You know, just the way he moves and the way he just has a certain je ne sais quoi about him. He commands creative attention, and he's just a brilliant guy. And you know, and when I was young, I didn't realize how blessed I was when I was actually working on these projects. Because you know, you're just working and you just think this is so cool. But now I'm 60 years old, looking back at it, I'm like, wow, I've done some amazing things. You know.
Yeah. And Spike Lee's real. I was in the movie Down to Earth, but I was in riot gear, so you couldn't see who I was. But I was in that pizza shop scene where we was trying to keep the people from beating up on the firemen who were trying to put the fire out.
Oh yeah, right. Awesome. Yep.
Yeah, that was real cool.
And then New Jack City, and then we worked on Juice. I remember working with Tupac, because like there was a time in which Strictly Business, they had a fundraiser, and Halle Berry she was working on Strictly Business, and Tupac was working on Juice. I think it was Juice. And we played a celebrity basketball tournament. And it was just like they rented a gym and we played basketball. I remember her getting hit in the nose with an elbow. Everything stopped. Whoa. Everybody was like, whoa. Her producer, everybody was like, whoa, this is too much. But it was, I mean, just all of those scenes of working, thinking back of all those people and watching their careers grow was just amazing as a scenic artist.
Yeah. What do you have coming up? You have something coming up?
Yes, I'm working on a new series right now. I'm really kind of like gone into a lot of abstract. And I've got a new caulking abstract series that I'm working on. And it's really, I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but I'm about to do a European tour in which I got some pieces that we're doing a big show in Europe and Paris and France. And so it's my European tour. It's my first time leaving the country.
All right. And I know you don't want to put it all out there because you want to wait until it happens. And a lot of us treat it like that too.
Right.
But listen, thanks for coming on. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of things in common too. We'd like to have you on a little longer. So you got to come back. Like I said, you always have a seat at the table, and we're going to break that bread that we spoke about before we opened up the show.
Awesome. Sandra, yes, Sandra, kill me if I don't give you guys the website. It's Bernard Jackson the artist.com, and the Instagram is at artist Bernard Jackson. And we're right here in the village of South Orange, New Jersey.
Bernard,
and the address is 11 Vos Avenue.
There you go. We love you, man. Thank you for all that you do. Thanks for your fantastic work.
Take care. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Bernard Jackson, the artist. Take a break. I've got more coming up next right here on Open.